All right, welcome into another episode of the Patriots podcast. I'm Sean here with Ryan and JJ.
Hello.
What's up?
All right, we're here after week 2 of the preseason, looking ahead to week 3. Patriots traveled to Green Bay a couple days early before the Saturday night preseason game with the Packers. 2 joint practices. Sounds like things were really competitive. Sounds like it was a high level of play out there, and then they go into the game on Saturday, and it was an up and down game.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch it? JJ, did you have any major takeaways from this one?
A couple major takeaways, especially starting with the offensive line, which is the trend of the offseason here, is Matt got completely crushed. I thought when he had time, even when he didn't have time, he was standing in there. There was a one drive he did pretty well on. One time he got sacked. If he stepped up, maybe it would have been better, but it was just a complete collapse of the line too. So the offensive line really has to take over, or they have to figure things out. Riley Reef is at guard there. City Sow is at right tackle. I don't think any of us saw that happening at this point. Owenu came back to practice yesterday, right? Or
Thank
today
God.
or something.
Yep.
Thank
Thank
God.
God,
So trouble's there. I think our offense can get things going. I mean, Stevenson got the ball twice and did really well with the ball. I
Did
thought
you
he
see
looked really good.
the Trent Brown block on that big run that Stevenson had? Trent
No, I
Brown's
didn't
playing
notice it. Pancake someone.
left tackle. He moved the guy who was nose up against him, moved him past the center. He
Awesome.
moved him 3 positions on the offensive line. That's the type of way you open a hole.
So there you go. I mean, and is Cole Strange coming back? What are they going to do at right tackle? I think we'll get into it down the line, but they got to figure that out. I think our offense can do pretty good. Our defense was in there a little bit. Starters, Barmore was starting. That was nice to see. A lot of safeties on the field, which is an interesting look. It feels like we always start the year like that, and then we realize we can't do it for that long. People realize they're just going to run all over us, and then we have to go back to normal defense. But yeah, I mean, those were my main takeaways. You know, Ryan, I don't know what you saw out there, but
yeah, no, I thought there was a lot of pros and cons across the board. I thought the offensive line looked like it was in shambles quite a bit of the time. A lot of pressure created by second and third string guys again. I'm really looking forward to Onwenu getting back, kind of shoring up things, because I think when you look at it, Trent Brown, Cole Strange, David Andrews, and Onwenu is 4/5, 80% of a really good offensive line. It's just that one last piece that we really need to find someone. Stuber played a lot of downs in this game, didn't really pan out well as far as pass block. A lot of guys didn't look good in pass protection. I thought Ferentz was
Connor
awful.
McDermott, dude, is falling off. He's like, he got crushed on the one. So the one play where Matt got absolutely killed. It was his last play in there. They were driving, put together a couple of good plays. Kendrick Bourne made a catch. Douglas was in there. He looked pretty good for the couple plays. He looked like he's really shifty and can get open. But Connor McDermott, man, on that, it was like a second or third down. And Matt, I think a third down, he got crushed. He got killed. Connor McDermott personally did nothing. And Matt got killed on the blind side.
That got through on him, or did Van Ness even play? I don't really.
I don't know. I don't remember who the defender was, but it was ugly.
They have some players over there. I know Rashawn Gary and
they do.
Yeah.
But he got hit hard, and Matt came out after that. So it's like, well, that can't happen in the regular season every fucking drive. And that's what it looks like is going to happen as of right now. And we all know they're not going to go through the whole year with everyone being healthy. That never happens. It's so rare.
I was happy that they gave Stuber a fair chance in this game. He had 47 snaps. Not good in pass block. Got a 49.6 according to PFF, but on block 77. I mean, I'm just looking for someone
run blocking a little bit.
Anyone to step up in that right tackle role.
I think it's on another team.
And I hope
Might be.
If it is, then that's what it is. But I think long term, you're looking at this thing and you're thinking, I mean, going in, I'm looking ahead. Next year, if we don't pick a tackle in the first round, like, what are we fucking doing? Because Trent Brown's, I think, expiring this year. we'll get into that later on. I know I'm way ahead of myself here, but
You're already
saw
thinking
that
about the next offseason.
I'm already thinking about drafts. So, but Riley Reef, they played at guard quite a bit in this game.
I mean, what do you think, Sean? Do you think they're gonna swing out a Wenu to tackle and have Reef play guard? They have way more depth at guard.
Well, they're trying to figure out where everybody can fit in the event that there are injuries, and they do have to fill in various places. So, like, if they keep Riley Reef's going to make the team based on his contract, I think he would have a dead cap of like $3 million.
What a
out of $4 million.
Pay this guy $5 million. We can't even figure out where to put him.
That's the thing is he might not start at right tackle. He might be a backup, but now he can be the backup to both the right guard and the right tackle instead of having to shove in Antonio Maffi if he's not ready. Right. Maffi looks good at left guard. Maffi's playing both guard positions.
To me, I think is the most promising of all the guys so far that I've actually watched. I think Maffi has legitimate starting guard potential. I'm looking at him and Chasen Hines, who was I think LSU
Hines
kid
looked pretty good
2 years ago.
Yeah,
he had a good game.
There's some upside there. We have some really nice looking young players as far as second, third year, first year, interior offensive lineman projections. Andrews, Hines, Maffi, Sal, and I know they've been trying to put Sal outside. I'm worried about
that. Project right now.
Sal is a 25-year-old project. That I don't really love that to begin with.
He's going to
start.
Cole
Strange.
You don't think he's starting right tackle?
Isn't even healthy, really.
No, I know what's happening with him. I think he's coming back.
They're saying he'll be back for week 1. That's what they're saying.
And hopefully he's good, dude.
What does he look like? He better look spectacular. You took him in the first round last year. He better look fucking... You laugh. You laugh, dude.
I do. Yeah. I agree with you. Because he's
I feel like the Liverpool,
I don't think he's going to.
fan right now. Like I don't do if buts and maybes. I do, fact.
And I don't think he's going to look as good as we're expecting him to. That's my thing. Like he was okay last year. He had some really bad games, and so it's like, okay, if he steps up,
he had some good games though. He did.
He had some good games, but he had some really bad games too. So it's like he had an okay season. Is he going to be good this year? That's fine. Good. We'll take good. I think everyone's honestly, like, he's going to be great. He's going to be like, dominant. It's like you saw him for 3 fucking practices.
Right. I have a hard time reconciling a first round pick that's not dominant for a guard.
Yeah.
My thing is if you draft a guard in the first round and he's not dominant, year 1 or year 2, I don't know how to reconcile that. I don't know how to cover for
who do you think's going to start right tackle?
Right tackle. I'm honestly hoping.
Reef.
You think so?
You say Reef. I say Onwenu.
Yeah.
I think
their best play is probably Onwenu.
I think they're going to put City Sal there, and they're going to be in a lot of max protect and tight end bump on the right tackle.
And Ezekiel Elliott shadowing him.
As far as the right tackles they played in this game,
that's what they're going to do.
In pass pro, as far as the right tackles they played in this game, City Sal was way better than the other right tackles they played at that position.
That's good.
So, I do agree with that. Well, I honestly think you were going to keep Reef and Sal and probably cut a lot of the other offensive linemen, all the guys on the fringe, and pick up a tackle or 2 on the cut free agent
I gotta say,
market.
James
I think
Ferentz,
we're picking up a guy or 2.
James Ferentz needs to go.
He'll be on the practice squad. You'll see him on the practice squad.
Fine, put him on the practice. That's fine with me.
He'll be there.
I can't see him on the starting roster. I've never seen this before. Okay, PFF, 47 snap counts, which is the second highest on the team. Him and Stuber had the tied for the most snap counts at 47. James Ferentz got a 39.8 overall, pass blocking 14.1.
Yikes.
Does that mean he screwed
up?
up?
Have you ever heard of a worse score
I saw him
45 of the 47 snaps.
I saw him in pass protection a bunch of times, and he just backs up and looks around. He's like, ooh, which way should I go?
He's not good, dude.
Should I do
don't know.
anything? No, I'll just stand here and do nothing.
I'm not a fan.
Dude,
While
the
somebody
offensive
runs around
line
the end.
the offensive line is the thing. Okay, the
Yeah.
defense is going to be fine. The skill positions are fine. The quarterback is fine. I mean, from what I've seen, it's going to be fine.
Why don't we dig into that a little bit?
Yeah.
Mac Jones, we saw our first game action we've seen out of Mac Jones. Seen some practice film out of this, but from what I saw, he looked pretty sharp. At the very least, he looks like a starting quarterback, if not an above average one. He was like this close to hitting Devontae Parker on what would have been his best play. He does a deep drop in the pocket, shuffles to his left, steps up in the pocket, buys a little bit of time, and throws a dime to Devontae. That was probably diving distance for Parker, who probably reaches out for that in the game.
Regular season, yeah.
Regular season, he's going to put his body out there.
Yeah.
But either way, it was a great pass and a great pocket movement. Hit a couple other passes. The one that he threw to Kendrick Bourne, third and long, he steps up, throws a deep in cut, and throws it high too. I was like, oh, he trusts the shit out of Kendrick Bourne to throw that pass with a safety standing right behind him, plus a cornerback in man coverage.
Right.
So I thought he was pretty good. And then we only saw, we didn't see Malik Cunningham play quarterback at all. So we saw Bailey Zappi for the rest of the game. And he's just behind that porous offensive line. He can't do anything.
No. Yeah.
In that position.
Yeah, and he does look a little rusty. It up. He had a couple decent throws. The one to Butte was awesome.
Oh, the slant pass that went for a touchdown.
Yeah, and Butte
great.
Butte really. Go ahead, JJ.
No, I was saying Booty looks great. I think he's making the team. I think he's made a case.
I think
he is too. I think he's on the team. In which case, I think he'll be carrying 7 receivers because I don't think Thornton's getting cut, and I don't think Slater's getting cut. So if that's the case, Smith-Schuster, Parker, Bourne,
right.
Douglas is definitely making the team. I mean, that's 7 receivers you're carrying. 3 tight ends, I would think. I think Ferkser makes the team.
I think we're going to cut. I think we're going to go light at running back.
I think we're going to have 3 at running back. I think
3
I
think 3 also.
That Kevin Harris probably gets cut. JJ Taylor gets cut. And then you're down to Ramondre,
Montgomery,
Zeke, and I don't think Montgomery's
gone, dude.
Yeah, I think you carry 3 quarterbacks. Like we said,
it's going to be tight. I didn't think Cunningham looked so uncomfortable at wide receiver. He's just not close at wide receiver.
That makes
not
it
the kind of
wide
player
receivers.
He's not the kind of player you can release. And if you put him on your practice squad, you're never going to see him again. Someone's going to pick him up. This
is a great example, and I know we're jumping ahead in the agenda, but if Malik Cunningham plays, if he has a repeat of game 1 of the preseason, or I mean, even exceeds it, he's making the team. Like I would say he's right on that edge. Where
I don't think you're going to see it in preseason. I think that it's going to be something in practice that you see. And I think that if you put him on the practice squad now, I think another team's going to look at that and be like, I mean, 3rd string quarterback that you can carry into your roster, you pull off our practice squad, that's a lot of upside there. He's got a stronger arm right now than Mac Jones and Zappi.
Bailey Zappi.
And he's got far more athletic ability than either one of those guys. So I think just those 3 factors combined, I don't want
to be a numbers game.
I mean,
tight.
But it does, and I'm worried because I don't want to lose him. I don't want to lose Booty.
I think Booty's made the team. I think we've screwed up
that means
so many times at receiver.
Matthew Slater's
screwed
not
up too
cut.
often. He's not good.
Well, I mean, we just saw, Isaiah Bolden getting the injury late in that game, and it was Bill Belichick talking with Matthew Slater and Matthew Slater talking with the team. It was like, he's the undisputed leader of the team. Mac Jones said the same thing, not in as many words, but he basically intimated that. It's like, Slater's not going anywhere.
No,
I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a surprise cut linebacker or something we wouldn't expect. Mac
think
Wilson. Everyone's saying he's going to get a lot of time. Like, I haven't seen anything out of him.
No, nothing. Mac,
And it's
dude,
like,
I'm telling you, there's like,
oh, we're going to keep him
right now. There's like 8 middle linebackers on the team right now. Okay, Mac Wilson, Mapu, Bentley.
Tavai.
I mean,
Tavai played
I'm
like
blanking.
3/4 in this
Tavai.
game.
And then the way
Anthony Jennings, if you want to put him there.
right,
I don't
He's
think
more of an
he's
edge player.
qualifies as he's more of an edge player.
and the way we have safety, and the way we're using safeties as linebackers. So it's like
There's too much overlap there.
Yeah, you can't keep that many guys.
Carson Wells, Calvin Munson. Who's this? Joe Giles Harris.
No idea.
You
Those,
know?
I mean, those guys are
that one.
gone.
Yeah, right now they're carrying like 8 middle linebackers, and I think Mapu is I wouldn't call him a traditional middle linebacker,
But if you have
he's an
him and
off-ball
Bentley in
linebacker.
there, and then
Oh,
Tavai
that's
is their
great.
backup.
That's what I want.
That's
what I
what
want
want
to
to.
do. Yeah, and I think Tavai is good trade value.
Yeah,
He's been rehabilitated in New England.
I think they like him too much. I don't think they're letting him go. But I could see Mac Wilson not making the team. And safety, we could keep 4. We're probably going to keep 4. Josh
No, we're
Bledsoe's
gonna keep
probably
more
going
than
to
4.
get picked up by another team unless
We're going to keep
him.
more than 4, dude. We're going to keep
Man,
him
it's
at
gonna
5.
it's gonna be hard to keep Bledsoe, fit him in.
I think
Because it's like
Duggar,
that and
Bledsoe,
cornerback.
Peppers, Mills, Phillips. I think that's it.
Or we
Dude.
trade one of them. Adrian
might be
Phillips
missing
gets
someone.
traded to another team for a backup right tackle. And we take
Yeah.
that deal in a heartbeat.
Dude,
Anybody
gotta
stick
say-
out? Anybody
What?
in the preseason game against the Packers stick out defensively? I was watching Barmore very closely. I feel like he's
Yeah.
very slow off the snap. He's not firing out, and I wonder if I remember Vince Wilfork saying that he used to back off the line of scrimmage. He wouldn't line up directly on the line of scrimmage because he wanted more time to diagnose and more space away from the offensive lineman.
Hmm.
I'm wondering if Barmore is doing a similar thing or if he's just that slow off the snap. I'm like,
Maybe
fucking
they
fire
could be
out.
coaching him to do that for the run.
Yeah. I
'Cause
want
you
him
gotta-
to, like, Chris Jones, fire out of the snap. Chris Jones is offsides at least 10 times a game, and they never call it. That's what I want. But
I don't know if
another
he's
guy,
he might not be that player.
Uche played a lot. Good to see him out there.
Yeah.
And then Miles Bryant. I'm like, I want to hate him, and I have disliked him, but then he plays well. He plays well sometimes, and this game he definitely played well.
Miles Bryant's got some ability, and the more he's kind of settled into whatever role they're putting him in free safety, corner, nickel corner, kick return specialist, I think that there's something to be said for the versatility he's kind of grown into, and Belichick loves that versatility. So I would think that there's an outside shot that he makes the team, even though I would much rather see Bledsoe make the team. I would much rather see Isaiah Bolden, who we'll talk about, I'm sure. Make the team.
He might wind up on an injury list.
That's a tough one with Bolden because I think he played well enough to warrant a spot, even though he didn't have a particular.
I think he's on the PUP or IR. Probably.
He can't go back to the PUP, so he's got to be on
Definitely
IR.
Definitely IR. Yeah.
Hawkins played well, but I don't think he's going to make the team. Amir Speed.
Yeah, I don't know
how. But
Amir Speed might make it as a special
teamer.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe
he's big and fast.
Bolden as a special teamer.
I did too.
I like Bolden as a special kick returner.
It's just a question if he's available.
And Schooler's definitely making special teamer.
Schooler's on the Schooler's outstanding.
He's always
Schooler's excellent.
He's
as
so
a special
good.
teamer.
He's
we have so
always
many
down
of
there.
those guys, though.
I
I think we signed Chris Board for that reason.
What
we
are
haven't even
we
talked about Chris Board, but he's a lock. He's an absolute lock for the team.
Is he a
I never
lock?
see him.
Oh yeah.
What is he doing in the game? Is he in there?
Does he wear 44? Yeah, I think he only plays
am-
special teams. I don't even think he
it's
got in on
amazing.
defense. He might have.
Unless they'll probably use him
another
as
one of these.
backup defense.
fucking
I think
special
Mac
teamers,
Wilson's
dude.
gone, dude. I think he's gone.
Yeah, Mac Wilson's gone.
Uh,
I hope
what are we
Mac
doing?
Wilson's gone.
Have you been following the kicker stuff? What are we doing at kicker?
I guess
I like
Ryland.
Ryland. I
He
like
had a
Ryland.
tough day earlier this week, and
He's had a few
Folk
tough
didn't.
days. He's had
So
a
it's
few
like
tough days.
he seems very up and down.
I don't even want to talk about it. You drafted him in the 4th round. He makes the team.
He's got to make the team, and it's just
He's
a
got to
question
make
of
the team, dude. Like,
will Folk stick around on the practice squad? It's kind of
No.
amazing.
No,
Anybody
someone's gonna
can be
pick
on the
him up.
practice squad right now.
Why would-
Nick Folk's
it's-
been in the
I
league
like
for
that.
like almost 20 years,
It's good
and you
that
can
they
put him
do
on the
that.
practice squad.
Why not?
you got to have a
no,
guy that
no
can
way,
kick over
dude.
50.
He's too good. He's too good. Someone's gonna scoop him up immediately.
He might not be
Immediately.
interested. Who knows? He's old.
you think so?
Yeah,
I don't
he's
know.
old.
Fat
Okay.
folk. Get
So
in there, fat folk.
after they, sometimes he looks slimmed down. I just can't
Oh,
tell.
we didn't talk about D line either. Carl Davis
Yeah.
is definitely gone. Do you think Danielle Ukulele stays? Ryan
I
Montgomery's
think-
Quale, I
got to
think,
go.
has shown out. I think he's been
Quale.
okay. Like
Aquale's
I've
good
seen
enough.
Flashes from Quale. I think Sam Roberts had flashes.
But he had two penalties in this game.
Yeah, he
2
got
or 3
penalized
penalties.
twice. Yeah.
Speaking of penalties, very first offensive play from scrimmage. Guess who fucking false starts? Trent Brown.
Yep.
I mean, can we start a fucking game without Trent Brown? I feel like this has happened like
all
every
time.
fucking time, dude. Like I'm
He
so
does all. Dude, he's our best tackle, and you're right. We always forget these like infractional penalties and stuff. He jumps off sides all the time. He's so big. It takes him a minute to get moving. You know.
Yeah, he needs a practice rep.
He needs.
I swear to God, every fucking
does.
game. It's like the
Yeah.
first play from scrimmage. Trent Brown is like a second ahead, like a full second
Yeah.
ahead of the rest of the offensive line.
And
it's
you know what happens too? He does it so often. They don't call it every play, but they'll like it's like they'll let him get away with it like 3 or 4 times, and then it gets worse and worse and worse. And they're like, "All right, dude, come on,
Yeah. Come on.
gotta
You can't be
cut
cheating like
this
that.
shit here."
For defensive line,
It's unreal.
I just feel like it comes down to Lawrence Guy versus Carl Davis. I don't see the need for both of those guys, especially when you got. I mean, you already have Godshaw as like a rundown defensive tackle. You got Barmore there as a bridge to the pass rush. You got Quale who's there for pass rush. Dietrich Wise can bump inside on a 3-man front. Keon White's waiting in the wings. It's like, why do we have Carl Davis and Lawrence Guy?
See, to
I don't
me, everybody
Yeah.
is so similar besides Keon White and Christian Barmore. Everybody is like in that same boat. I guess you could put Godshaw as a lock too, but like,
Yeah.
Dietrich Wise, yeah, he's a lock. All right, after that, that's 4 guys right there, and then it's just Sam Roberts, Lawrence Guy, Equale, Carl Davis.
They like Lawrence Guy too much.
now
could
what?
cut him.
He
though.
held out. He like borderline held out.
That's true. He did, but he came
Yeah,
back
get the fuck
without
out of here!
doing
You're
anything.
not good enough to hold out. All right, you're terrible. You're terrible. You're just a big dude. All right.
I'd probably rather. I mean, I don't know. You don't think he's got anything left in the tank?
No,
I
he's
bet
got shit
he's-
left. He's
He's
horrible.
better than Carl Davis, but he
Yeah,
cost 4
definitely.
times as much.
I like.
So I'd go with Carl Davis, or
Yeah.
you know what? I'd go with fucking Trey Flowers.
Quality's pretty good in there too. I gotta say.
They signed
Quality's
Trey
good.
Flowers. They have Sam Roberts, like Jeremy
Trey
Farms.
Flowers is still on PUP, so he doesn't count against the roster
I did
unless
like
he
that
comes
dude.
off
You
of
know,
it, which
he
he
would
won't.
never make the team, but Jeremiah Farms actually had a couple good stuffs in there. He's a big old boy. He's a
Yeah.
big dude.
There's another one of these guys we're getting from this like USFL or whatever the fuck it is.
I know.
I mean, we've signed a handful of guys. That tailback we signed,
What happened to him?
Maribel.
Oh, that's
Marabel?
him. Yeah, he's from the USFL. That's right. That's who that dude is.
Yeah, I remember he went to Coastal Carolina, and I didn't even have him ranked as a couple of years ago. But
Yeah, he did all right over there. He had some decent.
he did all right.
numbers, I
Yeah, he
guess.
did all right in the USFL, and
Yeah.
we see. This is what I do like about the Pats is we have our fingers involved in
Everywhere.
everywhere.
D2,
Yeah,
USFL, XFL. We're looking all around. Other
We're
people's
not even
practice
looking at like
squads.
big
Navy.
schools mostly.
All around.
We're looking at
spots.
like Sacramento State and the Breakers of who the fuck knows. I don't know what team the Breakers are, but
What league that is.
yeah.
Okay, so end of the game, Bolden's injury, they decide to call it off. They quickly announce after that they were canceling joint practices with the Titans. You saw a number of teams cancel joint practices, so this wasn't unique to our situation.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Felt like you could have used some extra work.
How come
Yeah.
so many teams canceled?
I don't know. I feel like it happens yearly, but like the Jets and Buccaneers canceled one of their practices. The Saints were going to practice with somebody.
You know
They
what
canceled
I think it is?
all of that.
I think it was so chippy this year that they were just everyone was like, "Screw it." There was a lot of fights.
Screw it.
I need the
we're
chippy.
done.
I need the chippy. I think that's good for
Well,
team
I think
building.
it speaks to like the lack of hitting in training camp. I mean, I feel like every time I'm keeping up with the stuff, like at least the practices daily, what they're doing, and a majority of them sound like walkthroughs or non-hitting, not live contact. I know
Yeah.
that's all through the CBA and everything and negotiated, and it's like you're starting to see worse injuries. Like we'll probably get into it. What's his name? Receiver from Denver got carted off today with a hamstring injury.
Oh,
You hear that?
I didn't see that. No.
No, was it Hamlin?
Was it Judy?
Judy. That's
Yeah.
it.
Oh shit, Judy
Jerry
got hurt?
Judy. They said it's
Oh,
like
Jesus.
he's out for
That's
several
his
weeks,
thing.
whatever.
That's his thing. He gets hurt.
Yeah, I really like the joint practices. I think that's good for team building, and I think it's a good change of pace from what you see every day. You get used to the same guy. I like the Packers that we had the Packers in the joint practice schedule. I think the Titans would have been a good change of pace. Different kind of team. They play differently than the Packers. I thought that would have been awesome. And then to cancel that when a guy like, you can. Someone called me ignorant online because I said why they cancel the joint practices. It's like the guy's on the plane going home with them. Like not to say I don't care about Isaiah Bolden. Of course I do.
It sounds like it was league wide too.
Yeah,
And
it's not
it
like
could happen
something
in the preseason game coming up too.
right.
It's like why not cancel the preseason game?
Right,
And
and
now-
it's just like, what's the difference? What does this have to do with the practice? Like,
Yeah, I'm
I know
surprised they
Isaiah
canceled
Bolden
it too.
was hurt. It was a serious situation. Everybody was emotionally invested, concerned. All right, the guy went on the plane home with you, and apparently he's okay. So
I don't know.
I just don't see really what that buys you to cancel that practice.
So they missed a chance for a little bit of extra work, but they do have the preseason game Friday night in Tennessee against Titans. Going to be hot. Going to be a good test for conditioning and what endurance they have. But as we just went through this roster breakdown, I mean, there's a lot of guys that are going to be fighting for their life. We're going from 90 guys to 53.
Yeah, 2 days.
4 days
later.
from
Is that
now.
quick?
Or 4
Yeah,
days.
2
Is there
days.
no 75 or anything like that? It's just 30
I've
guys
found
get cut.
I've found like different things where they go from 90 to 85 and then 85 to 80 and then
That's
down
what
to
they
53.
used to do. That's what they
What
used
does
to
it
do.
Yeah,
matter?
so
You
I-
got to get to 53 anyway.
Now
and they
they
got to
just said,
do it in a.
let's do it all at once.
They do it all at
agreed on
once.
that like a year ago? Was
Something
the
like
first time
that.
they did it?
I wish they would do it sooner.
But you're going to lose more than a third of the team. It's almost half the team is
Almost
getting
half
cut.
the team.
I mean, it's insane the numbers that they have to trim
It's
back
going
to.
to feel empty in there
Good.
afterwards.
That's what it should be that way ahead of schedule because going into preseason week 2 to carry 90 guys on your team, like these guys aren't going to see they're not going to actually see the field in regular game action. So don't you want to get your guys reps? I don't want to see.
Yeah, I know, right?
I don't even know
You're
some
right.
of these fucking guys. Rodney
Practice
Randall
reps
Jr.
going to random
Yeah,
people.
like why am I getting Rodney Randall Jr. practice reps when I could have, Bledsoe in there?
Well, this
and
game.
make-
Are you hearing about this game tomorrow night, Friday night? That they're saying a lot of people might not play, or Mac might not play. Are you hearing that? I was hearing that today reported. I
haven't heard anything. I wouldn't be surprised if they sat the starters.
They haven't played, dude. They barely played.
I know. But they have to figure out, we got like 40 guys that are going to make the roster, and then we got to pick 13 guys out of the next 50.
Yeah, the
How are we going
NFL
to
is
figure that
yeah.
out? They need to get those guys on the field
The
and
NFL
give them
has
a
fucked
chance
this thing up
to show 'em.
royally. The way they've done this. I understand you want to have 4 weeks of preseason, and only 3 games, but you got to make the cut down date earlier than this, and you got to give us more time to assess these guys in practice. There's not enough practice for these guys. There's not
I
enough.
don't think you do. You don't do the cut down date before the last preseason game.
Either
No
way,
way.
you do it. If there's no cut down date until the last fucking second, then what are we wasting our time on these guys for?
Well, they're going to have 10 days before their first game
That's not
Right.
that's
after cut downs.
And they'll
I
have
just-
a
I
practice
just don't think
squad.
it's
So what's the practice squad? 13 players?
I think it's like 10 or
10?
12. It's something like that. Maybe I think it's like 12.
So you have
I
12
really
guys
hate
coming back
the amount. The length
know.
of training camp has been way too short for the last couple of years.
I just
The
don't.
NFL
I don't
is-
think there's enough hitting and like game speed reps because it's like hard to get game speed. And I just want
Yeah.
Mac in there to be on tomorrow night for a few series. It's like if he doesn't
Yeah.
play tomorrow night, he's had what, 2 series the whole
Yeah, but
preseason.
you can't
Yeah.
protect him if Onwenu isn't going to play yet and Cole Strange is still
Max
out.
protect. Try out your max protect kit. Keep a tight end in. Keep your running back in, and just like, all right, let's see if he can do it this way.
I just want to see guys that are going to be on the roster. I
Yeah.
just want to see
Well,
guys that are going to be on the roster, though.
That's what
it's
the
gonna be
regular
a
season's
game
for.
of completely cut guys by the second half. That's
No, not necessarily, Sean.
For the second half. Yeah.
Sean, not necessarily. I want to see guys that are second and third string that are going to be on the team. It doesn't have to be your starters, but I want to see guys play that are, potential starters down the road. It doesn't have to be right away, but
Right, for their development. I get what you're
Yeah.
saying. Like Keon White should be out there. That's a good example.
yeah, I
But
want to
he's
see.
hurt.
I want to see Booty all the time. I want to see
If it was-
Demario
wanna
Douglas all the
yeah,
time.
I want to see Booty getting reps. Well, Demario Douglas hurt his shoulder, so he hasn't been practicing this week.
Right,
He
and
probably
then I
won't
guess
play.
we should probably talk about this too. I guess the corner there, Christian Gonzalez, got a little
Hurt his
knock
ankle.
too.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
had an ankle thing.
Yeah,
That's a
not great.
bummer. He was getting a
Yeah.
lot of time in these preseason games. Which is
He
good to
was.
see. Get his feet
Making
wet,
some good
young kid.
tackles, getting beat in coverage a little bit, but making some
he is.
tackles and getting involved. And
Yeah. I think he's been all right. I think our secondary will be good. Johnny Jones hasn't been practicing, but by all accounts, he'll be ready by week 1.
Good.
So, him, Marcus Jones has been putting together some good practices. I think our defense will be fine, as we've all said. I think when they do cut downs, it's got to be a mad dash, especially with the last 3 or 4 spots. I will not be surprised if we get a couple guys off other teams' cut lists. I think that's a big thing now. Normally, like you guys were saying, Ryan, when they would do 90 to 75, well, there's a new group of, so many guys, 15 guys from each team that you can sift through and say, yeah, I want that tackler, or I wanted that safety
Right.
or something like that.
Yeah.
You bring him in. Now it's all at once. So everybody's cutting, however many guys it is, 40,
yeah,
37 guys, and it's madness. So it's like, we're looking
right.
for a tackle.
it's
we're
going to
probably
be
bringing
roster
2 tackles.
reshuffling. It's gonna be
And that's
reshuffling
gonna-
across the board.
Definitely for like all that week. I think our roster won't be set until a few days before the first game.
Yeah.
Honestly,
In terms of guys fighting for their spot, we've touched on a couple of them. I think Josh Bledsoe, if he has a real big showing, I think that's going to help his case a lot. Tight end,
Definitely.
I would love to see Matt Sokol do something. Earn
Over
a spot.
Fersker?
I mean, Ferkser, you know what he is. He's good. He's short, but he's not blocking people in a big way. It's like Sokol's got the size where it's like, can you just play decent? I mean, come on, man. Make the team. You're given every chance right now. Hunter Henry hasn't played. Gesicki's out. We need somebody to play on this team that can block somebody.
I know.
But he
I think
hasn't
that-
stood out.
I think that the way they're at with tight end right now with Gesicki and Henry, you still
Yeah.
need a third tight end to back them up because there's
Yeah.
a good chance that Hunter Henry could get hurt. I mean, he gets hurt all the time, and you don't have a fullback on the roster. So
Mhm.
you can't really count on 2 tight ends. You need at least 3. I think Ferkser is a pretty good chance to make the team. I think is
You like
You
him
know what
over
they'll do?
Sokol?
I mean, Ferkser's better. He's a
yeah,
more
Ferkser.
valuable
Yeah,
player,
Right.
but Sokol does the things that we need out of a tight end from a blocking standpoint, or he has the size to be able to do them. You know what I
Mhm.
just realized is every week they're allowed to elevate 3 guys from the practice squad. And based on the way that Sokol is played, I don't think anybody's going to poach him. Same thing goes for Scotty Washington, and potentially the same thing for Ferkser based on what his free agent market was. So they might just go with the 2 tight ends on the initial cut down, so they don't have to hold that roster spot. And then if they can get at least one of them onto the practice
Yeah.
squad, elevate them for the game, but then they have that roster flexibility for those 10 days.
I think
That's what
that's
they'll do.
very,
Duh.
very likely.
man, I would have really have liked to see the kid from Michigan, Mason, come back. I know someone took him, but it's weird to not carry a fullback. You know, it's 2 years running now where we haven't carried a fullback. We're trying to carry 2, 3 tight ends into the regular season, and it's just like with the injury history with some of these guys, that's really not enough for those
Yeah, you
2
just get
positions.
thin so fast.
You know, yeah, you get thin real fast. Yeah,
Yep.
Defensively, we touched on Mac Wilson. I think Anthony Jennings is firmly on the bubble.
You think so?
There's a lot of guys that play that position.
yeah.
Yeah.
That edge, we have a lot of depth right there. I think he's good. I actually do think
I think so
he's
too.
good enough to make the team. I just
Yeah.
don't know if there's a spot for him based on the
I
depth.
like to factor in the strong safeties into that role too, and we have so many. You know, as far as edge players, I think that you could put a safety into that role fairly easily, depending on I wouldn't necessarily say like edge rushers, but like edge players that could play tight end, man.
Duggar's a
zone
great rusher
kind of
off
thing.
the edge.
Yeah,
Great
he is,
blitzer.
yeah.
Well,
And then
Duggar is,
Peppers
yeah,
can
but
play right on the line.
I mean, I think
I
Jennings is
like
there for
Peppers.
his.
Peppers
Jennings
is going to
is
have
there
a big
for
year,
his-
I think.
I think so
think so,
too.
too.
He looks pretty good. I think Jennings is there for his run defense. I think he's a much better run defender than he is against the pass rush, stuff like that. He's just kind of a solid all around player. I think you keep him. What was he, a second round pick a couple years ago or third?
No,
Third or
Jennings?
fourth.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was
I gotta
third or
look it up,
fourth.
but-
Ronnie Perkins was a third.
third.
Yeah,
Ronnie Perkins is
Jennings.
Jennings
gone.
was third,
You know,
He's
87th
gone.
overall. So I
I
would
used to get them
imagine.
confused.
Just
I think he sticks
I would
around.
imagine Jennings stays on the team.
He's
Yeah.
cheap, costing you nothing. A rookie
Yeah.
deal.
Still a rookie deal. Yeah, we already
Alabama
touched on
kid,
defensive
he's-
tackle.
Man, that preseason game looked
Cornerback.
bad.
I think they're going to want to keep 5 corners. I don't know.
Yeah.
Some of those guys are good enough that they won't make it to the practice squad. I don't think. So I think they're
we
going to
keep
want to
6.
keep
You think
6.
we keep 6?
I think we keep 6. I mean,
Sean
think
Wade?
about it. Think
You
about
keeping
it.
Sean
What do you
Wade?
consider Jalen Mills? What do you consider Jalen Mills? Safety?
Safety.
Okay. So we're going to go number 1 corner. I would say Christian Gonzalez
Yeah.
coming in. Jack Jones would be your
Johnny
number
Jones.
2 outside guy. Jonathan Jones, Marcus Jones. That's 4, right?
Yep.
So some kind of combination after that with Miles Bryant, Isaiah Bolden,
Sean
cut
Wade.
both those guys. Sean Wade, I don't know.
I don't
And
think
then you
Sean
have
Wade
Amir
sticks
Speed.
around.
I think Amir
I
Speed probably
think
doesn't make
Bolden's
the team.
going to the IR. I think he's.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think Miles Bryant makes the team. So I think you have to keep 5 because Jack Jones might be going to jail in September.
Yeah, right.
So I think you got to keep 5.
I don't. Yeah.
You have.
You
to
guys
think
watch
it
any of
actually
the
happens
Twin
that
Cast?
fast.
I
No,
was
what
watching
they do?
some Twin Cast.
No.
Twin Cast is for those
The
of you
McCourty
who
brothers?
don't know, is Jason and Devin McCourty. They're doing the full analysis of the game. And I just think it's interesting when they call guys out. They love Bledsoe.
Yeah.
They love Bledsoe.
At least Devin played with him.
Devin spoke highly of Jack.
That's good.
As far as a kid, he said he's a good kid. He just got, he just made a mistake and like blah blah blah. but I really find that interesting when they talk about players because they know those guys.
Yeah. Oh, that's a
The other thing
good
is
call.
it's Julius Peppers. They were talking about it, and just that kid's a freak.
Jabril Peppers.
Jabril.
Julius Peppers
Yeah, I
also
was so
a freak.
confused. I was
one of
like,
the
he is a
all-time
freak.
college players too. Jabril
Yeah.
Peppers. Oh my god, at Michigan.
Yeah, he was great at
fucking
Michigan.
fantastic. Yeah.
I think he's going to be a difference maker. I think Adrian Phillips is the one where I feel like he's going to get a lot of time early, and then as the season kind of wanes on, like last year, he kind of lost his place. He was really good 2 years ago as a free agent. I thought came in, was kind of all over the place, did a good job, and then last year he seemed out of position a lot, and that was a little different, a little bit of a shift. So I don't know how he's going to do this year. Like you said, you got Peppers now, Mills is back there, Duggar. You have this dude, Josh
going to eat
Bledsoe.
into that time.
Mapu's going to eat into that time. I mean, you could get some trade bait for some of these guys.
I don't think anyone's trading for Adrian Phillips if they think you're going to cut him in 5 days.
I don't
What do you guys
know. I don't know.
think of the special team situation between Behringer and Waitman?
Seems like Behringer did pretty good in the game.
61 yard long.
An absolute moonshot. Yeah, that thing was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Waitman looks fine too. Waitman's a lefty punter, so you always got to factor that in with Belichick.
Yeah.
Loves the lefty punters.
Yeah.
But Behringer's just got another level of power in his foot. I don't know why he doesn't do kickoffs. I'm like, just do kickoffs.
Dude, I fucking
How hard
like
is
that
it?
kid.
Yeah.
Seems like a head case.
Like this kid, man. Like
you do.
And then you could say I like Jake Bailey. I mean, you could hold that against me. But Jake Bailey had an awesome.
He was great.
Rookie year.
There's a reason he got that
awesome
contract
for 2 years. Yeah.
I love a good punter, man. Bryce Behringer at the goggles and fucking the whole mustache, whatever the fuck is going on there. I like that guy, dude. I fucking like that guy. He looks like he can make a tackle too.
I bet he would want to. Chad Ryland looks breakable. He looks very small. And then outside of that, Cardona is a lock. Slater, lock. Schooler, we touched on. Chris Board, everybody is saying he's
Can we find someone
hands down lock
to snap the ball besides Cardona that could actually do something else besides snap the ball?
I never understood why that is like the only thing that this person does. Like, remember when Ninkovich was like our backup long snapper? And it's like, why can't he just be our regular long snapper? He's already on the team.
Have you ever
it's
played?
easy. They're not allowed to hit you.
Do you guys play Madden?
You save right
at all?
there.
No, not in a while.
So if you play Madden, like you have to make a decision on Cardona because he's a 49 overall. He's fucking terrible.
Why is he? What do you mean? Why is he? Is he like way worse than other long snappers?
No, so he's a 49 overall. Like you just don't carry a long snapper in Madden. Like because you could put Onwenu there, and for some reason he's an 88.
He's a nasty snapper.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so why am I carrying fucking Joe Cardona? I'm just wondering. Like, all right, so not to be like facetious, but like, why can't a center? Why can't David Andrews do that? Why can't
you'd have to run down the field? Well, they got to run down the field. So it's just like, why doesn't a linebacker do it? He's the same. I mean, Cardona's at like 240 pounds.
It's not like he makes a tackle. Have you ever seen Joe Cardona?
He was close against the Packers. He was close. Wagging my finger at you. He was in the vicinity.
He was gonna make it. He's going for it.
There's my reason. He was close.
All right. I'll give you my grand plan is I think just every kid, if you're like a mediocre high school football player, learn how to long snap. Like learn how to do it incredibly well and just make a college team. Get a scholarship. Do whatever.
It's incredible that's a thing.
What a life. And the longevity is there. You could play 15 years in the NFL and make that salary.
How long has Cardona been in the team?
Probably like 7 years at this point.
Has it been that long?
He's been a while. Well, he finished his active duty with the Navy, which is 4 years.
Right. This kid is making bank from the Navy, from the Patriots, and all he does is fucking whip the ball through his legs like 4 times a week.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
It's fucking it, dude.
But you
What
got
a
to do it
fucking
for
good
field
job that
goals
is.
and for punts. Ooh, now
Different
we're getting
lengths.
tricky. Yeah, right.
Well,
Different
come on.
trajectories. Yeah. Anyway, he's good. He's going to make the team. Chris Board. I mean, Amir Speed is
you keep
right on the
mentioning
bubble
Chris
for
Board.
me too.
You are just as confused as me. What the hell Chris Board's doing on this team?
He's basically a fill-in for Cody Davis, who's still on the pup list. He'll be the personal protector on the punt unit.
He's our
He'll
10th
be
on
special
all-
teamer.
He'll be on the core special teams. He won't be on field goal, but he'll be on everything else.
And Cam Maycor's going to coach him up. Don't
Can
worry
he
about it.
play? Why? No, actually, by all reports, is Joe Judge is completely running special teams. Have you heard
Good.
this?
Good. Give him something he can do.
Fuck
He's
does
proven
Cam
to be
McCord
able
do?
to do it.
I don't know what Cam McCord does. They can't fire him. But yeah, maybe Chris Board can play linebacker. You think he could?
He's
Is that
listed
too
as a
far-fetched of
linebacker.
an idea?
Who is Cam Maycord going out with? Is he married to is he dating
No
Belichick's
idea.
daughter or something? Like, what the fuck?
Oh.
How does he retain his job security?
How is he still on this fucking
I don't know.
coach's
He's got information on somebody.
Bill doesn't fire people, if you've noticed. When's the last time he's fired someone?
Just lets him leave.
Patricia?
They
Kinda.
mutually part ways.
Oh,
Right. Guglielmo. What's his name? Dave Googe,
Dave Guglielmo,
the offensive line coach.
In season, you're right.
Yeah. That was the last one I can remember.
Or no, it wasn't in season. Was that after 20?
No, it was after
2015.
After 2015, when we lost to the Broncos in the AFC Championship game,
was fired.
and Brady got hit like 18 times in that game.
Yeah, you got.
It was nuts. Obviously, that was an all-time defense. Went on to win
That
the
was
Super
an
Bowl.
all-time game, dude. That game was insane.
That game sucked. I hated that game.
Oh,
They scored
my God.
2 touchdowns to Owen
On
Daniels
the
in the
goal
first
line.
quarter with that
God.
noodle arm, Peyton Manning, and then Brady connects with Gronk on 4th and 10 down the middle of the field. And then we go for the 2-point conversion, and Brady's focused on Edelman the whole time, and Gronk's wide open.
Yeah. Oh.
Gronk got you all the way down the field, and you don't give him a look on a 2-point conversion. I'm still upset about this. It's 8 years ago.
by the way,
Anyway,
if
Good
no one's
memory.
heard it yet, the Julian Edelman with Travis Kelce, I forget what the name of that podcast
I've
is.
heard a bunch of clips. I haven't listened to the whole thing
That
yet.
was the best podcast I've ever watched in my life. It was so entertaining.
that good? Okay, I'll have to watch
Dude,
the whole
Julian
thing.
Edelman is just, shitting on Belichick, but in a funny way. Like talking about Tom Brady, talking about Randy Moss, how Randy Moss is like, when
Yeah,
I'm
I
on the
saw-
phone with my mom, you don't fucking talk to me.
Yeah, I heard some of the stuff.
Dude, it's the best content I've ever fucking heard in my life. Like,
I've heard some of
it's
those
awesome.
things. Yeah.
Gotta love Jules. I was randomly watching some of his college tape this week.
Oh, God, I love Jules.
He was tiny. Had a pretty good
fucking
arm.
love that kid, man. He's the best. He's the best.
Okay. So I think we covered the Patriots. Let's take a look around the league a little bit. Piece of news that came out today. Isaiah Simmons, former top 10 pick from 3 years ago, Cardinals. Linebacker coming out of Clemson, was a serious playmaker in college, 250 pounds, 6'4", ran a 4.39 and jumped 40 inches. Insane athlete. Was super productive at Clemson. He had 6 sacks and 4 interceptions and 100 tackles in his junior season there. Crazy. Goes to Arizona, never really finds a spot. They try him at linebacker. They try him at safety. Almost all at linebacker, actually. He was shifting to safety full-time this summer because he wanted to. Those were the reports. He told them he wants to play safety. And so they were like, all right, we'll play you at safety. Guess it didn't work out. Got sent to the Giants for a 7th round pick. 7th round pick for a top 10 player from
I
3
didn't know
years
the
ago.
part about he said he was going to play safety.
Yeah, it's a great deal for the Giants.
Dude,
You
I
get
mean,
a
he's
guy
making
with-
money. He's making $9 million this year.
I always look at the Cardinals
That's
with
actually
a
a
grain of
lot.
salt.
Yeah,
You take
wow.
a guy with this kind of athletic ability. How old is he now? He's 24, 25.
Something like that. He's
25,
young.
just turned.
Just turned 25.
Yeah.
With that kind of athletic ability. When I watched him at Clemson, I can't even think of many players like him.
There was nobody I went back and looked at my scouting report on him, and I was writing, I was like, Gil Brandt wrote that he's never seen a prospect like Isaiah Simmons. Gil Brandt, for those who don't know,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
NFL Hall of Famer as a scout.
Yeah.
He essentially invented how to scout for drafts for the Cowboys starting back in like 1960. Like he's done this forever. And he still writes columns. He still scouts. He's a fucking beast. And he was like, I've never seen anybody like Isaiah Simmons. So I was like, I've seen a bunch of these tweener dudes, the Taylor Mays, the Kyle Hamilton, who's on the Ravens. We'll see if he progresses. He's only going in year 2. I'm not ready to write him off yet. But Gil Brandt said that. And so I was like, I don't really like this prospect. I think he's overrated, but I'm going to give him a high grade because that dude knows what the hell he's talking about. And also, he's a total freak. I should correct. Arizona had to pay his whole signing bonus. So the Giants are on the hook for $1 million.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it's
for
just
Isaiah
like,
Simmons for his 7th round pick.
how many times in life do you see a 6'4" guy at like 240 plus pounds run a 4.39 40?
I mean,
Yeah,
he's
no.
a Calvin Johnson level athlete.
He's a 98th percentile athlete, 91st vertical jump, 98th percentile broad jump. It's just
And that's based on the position group. So some of those guys
and
are
that's
220
listing him
pounds.
as linebacker. So
Right.
it's just a incredibly special athlete that the Cardinals have failed, not surprisingly, to get the best out of. And for him to go to a situation like what the Giants have, where they have a lot of good young pieces there. Just drafted
Plus-
Kayvon Thibodeau. They just drafted the kid from Maryland at corner. Deontay Banks.
Banks, yeah.
Right.
And then you got
for
Wink
se-
Martindale.
Right.
They're
Good
coaching
old
him up
Martindale
too.
there, and
Yep.
for a 7th round pick, like
Yeah,
That's
a
what gets
layup.
me.
couldn't we be in this deal? Like
Why
I
wasn't
would've-
anyone else? No one else would give a
Right.
6th for him.
we
That's
wouldn't
what I
give
don't
a
understand
6th.
about the player.
Yeah,
Nobody
so,
in the
I
league.
mean, like, and not
And
like
he's
incredibly
cheap as hell too. He's $1 million. You wouldn't take
$1 million.
flyer on him.
Yeah, and it
6th or
hasn't
5th?
done like badly. I wouldn't say he's done badly in Arizona. You know,
First,
I don't know what his
I'm
I don't know what his
surprised.
grades have been, but maybe I should look
maybe
at that.
maybe
like
Arizona has some ties with the Giants. They want to help him out because I feel like they could have got a better deal.
I mean,
I'm
when
sure
I'm
there's
looking
teams-
at the Giants and what they're doing going forward, I think they have Jalen Hyatt. They just took. They got some young pieces there. They re-signed or they brought Saquon back for the year. They still have Slayton. They brought in Darren Waller, Daniel Jones, Evan Neal. They got the previous year. It's just like there's a lot of good young pieces on that team.
And a great coaching staff. I mean,
and
they
a great
turned
coaching
Andrew
staff,
Thomas. Andrew Thomas, who they took in the top 10 at left tackle, was
Right.
a lot of people were like, I don't know if this guy's going to be a starter in the league
Yeah, he's been
after year
fantastic,
1.
yeah.
And then as of last year, he's like a blue chip now. 'Cause they
Out
coached
of
him up.
Georgia kid.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that for a 7th round pick for the Giants to do that deal, I think is awesome business, and I'm just jealous. I wish that we could have been in on that because we don't have. I don't know if we have that level of athlete anywhere besides corner with Christian Gonzalez. I think that's our best athlete right now is Christian Gonzalez. I don't know if we have anyone at that level.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
we
not
don't.
that he's that level of football player, but like just physically, you know.
Well, like, what's Arizona doing? They sent him off for a 7th round pick. They just sent their backup right tackle to Houston, I
Well,
believe.
he must
for
have a big
5th.
contract, right?
Who? Thomas?
I'm just
Or
saying, Simmons must have a big contract for them to want to get rid of him.
Sean
Well,
said he's $1
they-
million. They have to eat it.
Because they ate his whole signing bonus. That rookie deal is like 80% signing bonus.
Okay.
So
Okay.
So they had to eat like all of it. So he's basically a minimum contract guy for this season. And you trade for him, he becomes a free agent after the year. You get a compensatory pick if somebody signs him for a big deal.
Yeah.
It's like everything is working for the Giants on this one. So that
that's
one's a big head
beautiful deal
scratcher.
for them. Yeah,
Doesn't it make
that's
you feel
great.
better about that N'Keal Harry draft pick? When you're like, well, we took him at 32. Granted, we fucked that one up. He actually just got cut by the Vikings.
Yeah.
But you're
I heard he
at
got,
least it wasn't a top 10 pick that we fucked up.
Did he
that
get
bad.
signed by Philly?
Yeah, right.
Did he get signed by Philly right away?
I think so.
Nikhil, I
He's
didn't
just-
see
Yeah,
that.
I
saw
gotta
he
look
got
that
cut.
up, but I thought so.
Sorry,
I saw he
Nikhil.
got cut.
Yeah, so Isaiah Simmons got traded. I'm sure we'll see a lot more roster movement as the cutdowns happen and as maybe people try to pick up guys that are on the trade block. Jonathan Taylor is on the trade block until next Tuesday is, I guess, the deadline self-imposed that they put on it.
I've heard a lot of rumblings about the Dolphins being interested in him.
I heard.
Yeah, everyone's saying that.
I don't know if there's any substance to that, but what does he command for that?
I don't know.
Price
The thing
tag?
is,
that a second
round pick,
or?
maybe?
Well, he's going to go. He's been pretty clear that he wants a contract, and nobody wants to do a running back contract. So whoever trades for him has to at least broach
Pony
the
up.
subject with him and be like,
"What are the Dolphins?
All right,
I don't know what the Dolphins have for money, but they just drafted.
I don't think anything. Aren't they strapped? Let's see.
I'll look.
I don't know.
I'll look.
I don't know. I gotta look that up. But they have Ashane. They just drafted out of A&M, right? Devon Ashane, the quick running back,
I don't even know.
super fast.
I don't know that one. They got $11 million in cap space right now, so they can handle him this year.
That's enough.
Yeah, I think they could. I mean,
oh boy, that would be rough.
But
him and they got him
and
holy
Devon
shit.
Ashane. I mean, that's fucking wow. That'd be pretty dynamic backfield.
What's his name? What's his name? Williams system down there running the ball. Taylor,
I know, right? Mike McDaniel.
Kill it. I'm sorry. What I said?
The Dolphins are about $50 million over the cap for next year. So I got some decisions to make, and that's coming into a Tua contract year too.
Tyreek Hill dead saving. He has a $66 million dead cap hit right now.
What's Ramsey's?
Holy shit!
I've been down on Ramsey for a while now, and I know everyone's got him rated as the #1 corner in the league. Every time I watch that fucking guy play, he gives up a lot of big plays. Like, I don't know. Maybe I just don't see it. I know he's talented as fuck. When I saw him at Jacksonville in his first year in LA, I was much higher on him. And maybe I don't watch enough Rams, but I just don't know what the massive fucking appeal is with that guy.
I've seen him get beat a ton of times. He's a really good tackler. Jalen Ramsey has a cap hit of $3 million, but he has a $35 million dead cap number.
I forgot the Dolphins also got Chubb.
Another one of those big spikes.
Unfucking cuttable. Bradley Chubb. That's right. They have Bradley Chubb.
Dude,
they have Christian
amount
Wilkins,
of money they owe to players in the future is insane.
They're going to have to resign Javon Holland pretty soon, who is a really good safety.
I don't think they're going to be able to resign anybody.
Christian Wilkins is looking at all these defensive tackle deals that are coming out there. Dexter Lawrence gets a big deal. Quinnen Williams gets a big deal. Christian Wilkins was in the same draft. He's looking for that deal right away. Probably a little lower number, but still a big number.
They got Xavier Howard's on that team too.
He's got a lot of money, man, to go around. Dead cap.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dude, there's no money on that team to go around unless they keep pushing the boat.
Yeah,
this is probably one of the reasons they let Gesicki go, because I thought Gesicki was awesome for them. Every time they played us, I felt like Gesicki killed us.
I don't think they could afford him. They're paying everybody a lot of money on that
Except
team.
for the offensive line is weak, right?
Yes. That's the thing, is we harp on our offensive line so much on this podcast, but you look around the AFC East and you go, who's got a good offensive line?
I know they got Taron Armstead there,
right?
Not
I
much
think
else.
that reflects on us too, because I think that we're not used to having weaknesses like this on our offensive line. We're used to having like just steady, solid guys everywhere. Maybe not Hall of Famers, but like solid guys everywhere. It's not like,
especially on the line, dude. The line, usually we have plenty of depth. We usually draft well there. And here's a question for you,
right?
Yeah, here's a question for you. So Isaiah, talking about another Dolphins player, Isaiah Wynn went down there for not really a lot of money. Now, I know it seemed like at the end it was unsalvageable, but would you feel a little bit better if you had Isaiah Wynn on this team for right tackle or no?
He'd be better than anybody else we got.
And then, you know what, dude? I don't want to go retrace that route. I feel like I was happy when he left.
Oh, yeah,
I'm just going to leave it at that. Whether
that is true.
Replaced him or not, like
we have not. We have done literally nothing.
To me, he was checked out.
Well, that was who we replaced him with: Calvin Anderson, Riley Reef. We rolled the dice thinking one of them would step up. And
Have you seen Calvin Anderson yet? I mean,
you know what?
No,
I
we
did
haven't.
see him I Googled him recently, and something came up where it was just him doing a small interview for Patriots.com, and they were like, "What are you going to bring to the area, and what do you want the fans to know about you?" And now maybe it was a rehash, and they filmed it months ago or something, but it was pretty weird that they would post that, and nobody knows when the dude's playing or what's going on. I
Yeah,
found that
I just
very
Googled him,
odd.
and on Google News, there's nothing within the last month
Yeah, nothing.
about him. No
So-
one's talking about this.
didn't
And even if
Dolphins
he's
sign
a
some
big
kid-
guy, but even if he comes back, it's like he was a backup in Denver. I think our tackle
He's a spot
situation.
starter.
This reminds me a
Spot
lot
starter.
of the Isaiah Wilson situation, though, right? The Isaiah Wilson draft pick by
For the Titans?
the Dolphins. The Dolphins. They took the
Oh,
Isaiah
who am I thinking
Wilson
of?
tackle from Georgia. Very similar to Isaiah Wynn. His profile, the way he came out, and I think he was a cut after year one. He was a first round pick.
Yeah, Titans. Titans.
Was it Titans?
Titans, yeah.
Yes.
Same guy. Kid from Georgia, 6'6", 330.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
He was a disaster there.
big talent, but difficult personality.
Georgia. Oh man, Georgia, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I swear, they have a kid coming out next year.
Well,
A Darius Mims, who is like a prime right tackle candidate. That I would
They
be
got
all
guys
in
coming out
with.
every year. That's just a
They got
pipeline.
guys coming out every year, but I'm telling you, this guy's a first round pick. So it's like,
you know what's going on in Cincinnati is they have 3 starters at tackle. They have because they just signed what's his face from Kansas City. So they have
Orlando Brown.
Orlando Brown. Thank you, Sean. I'm not doing too good with the names tonight.
who's upset?
Filling in everyone.
Connor Williams is upset.
I have a comment about this person. Insert name here.
Yep. Boom. And you
Give
got
him a
it.
fucking 5th round pick. Like,
I would do
I just
it.
don't know
I'd get one of their tackles. Whoever their odd man out is, bring him
Jonah
on
Williams.
over here.
He needs a new start. They
Jonah
just moved him to
Williams.
right tackle. He wasn't happy about it. Bring him in.
I knew it was a Williams.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
All right. Why don't we do one last thing before we sign off? Ryan, give us our Hard Knocks update.
Oh man, I was
Here.
watching that. That's good stuff, man. I was watching Aaron Rodgers talk to people privately about Garrett Wilson, and he would say, I think I can't remember who it was. I think it was Braylon Edwards, old Michigan guy.
Oh yeah, he was in
What
there.
about
yep.
1-7 Garrett Wilson? He said, "Oh, he's special. This kid's special. Like, and when you watch him, you can see it, right? Like, there's something different about 17 there. They got a lot of good blue chip prospects, corner, receiver, Sauce Gardner, him, Quinnen Williams looks different, right? 95.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Keeps
yeah.
coming out of the snap in
He's their
preseason
best
saying,
player,
"I'm him."
dude.
Yeah, he's a absolutely ridiculous player, and it's going to be tough this year with the Jets. They are one of these teams that's really loaded.
And you
Brees
can't
Hall is coming
necessarily
back
count
healthy.
on the 3 picks from Zach Wilson this year.
Yeah, and by all
No.
accounts, he's looked better too. And I think it'd probably do him a lot of good to listen to Aaron Rodgers, even though I can't stand Aaron Rodgers. But man, that show really puts Aaron Rodgers in a good light.
Yeah, it does, man. They make him look.
Makes him look really good.
Yeah, it's pretty much focused on him. Everyone in the building is either acting like they're super impressed or they are super impressed. Probably the latter. He does look pretty good in there. There are 2 things that I've noticed kind of bleeding over in the 3 episodes. Basically, their offensive line is trash. Way
Yeah.
worse than ours. And that's already, for any quarterback, we know how that is. Rodgers has usually had a pretty damn good offensive line in Green Bay. And then, just a quick mention that it was, I think Cobb had huddled the receivers going in this past episode. and he's like, look, Rodgers is going to freak out if we don't get in the right area. If you aren't where he thinks you're supposed to be, he's just never going to throw you the ball again. And so he's very clear about
Randall
that.
Cobb, right, yes.
And it's like, oh, okay, so he might start just not wanting to work with certain guys. Corey Davis retired today.
Retired.
Which was interesting. He was probably going to get cut, but I thought he was
Is he
going to be
28?
28.
Yeah.
He's only 28, so he's kind of he was their top receiver last year? Second. No, Garrett
second.
Wilson. So second.
Garrett Wilson,
sorry.
second.
I mean,
So,
a couple years ago
now,
for the Titans, he was unbelievable.
And now he's out. Like, does he not want to play with Rodgers?
And also,
they're like, you're on the bubble, and he's like, I don't want to do this.
Right. One of the best college receivers of all time, too.
Yeah. Number one, he's got all the career records. He beat Zay Jones by like one catch.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. So to me, to have an offensive line
flaws, or they could be huge. Could be really good.
Right. To have a bad offensive line is one thing. To have a bad offensive line with an inexperienced quarterback is a totally different thing. So when I look at the Patriots, I'm looking at maybe our offensive line isn't where it has been in the past, but can you adapt quickly? Can you make the right adjustments at the offensive line to get the ball out quickly? I think that's what Aaron Rodgers brings to the table, where he knows, like, right away, this is where the pressure's coming from. This is where I need to get the ball out of my hands right away. He has a really good feel for the game, and I think that more than 99% of the guys in the league, you watch Aaron Rodgers at practice and you hear what he's saying, and you immediately take that, to account. Like, this guy, he knows what he's doing. So,
yeah.
I mean, Rodgers so go for it.
That goes to what Randall Cobb was saying, is the other half of that equation is the receivers need to be thinking the same thing he's thinking.
Same way,
and luckily for him, he's got two guys. I mean, they have Lazard too. It's weird looking around being like, oh, you just brought your whole contingent with you.
Yeah, basically.
It's just Lazard and Cobb are out there, and McCole Hardman it's going to take a while for him to get on the same page. He's basically going to go out there and you run a go, and you're going to do this 20 times a game, and I'm going to throw it to you twice.
I love his feel. I love his feel for the game. Like, I'm not a Aaron Rodgers fan, but seeing, like, hey, we're going to throw this guy the ball deep right here. This guy, you got to look for this guy right here, Marvin or whatever, whoever the fuck it is, and then he does it, and it's like, that's cool stuff to me, like.
Yeah, no, he isn't. He's definitely. I mean, there's a reason they're impressed out there. His football acumen is pretty impressive. And just how
he's also going to be 40.
That's the thing. He's going to be.
He's a 40-year-old quarterback.
Like, they haven't had anyone in the Jets building even close to that in decades. Like, that knows that much about football, or is that much of a player at the quarterback position. So
the interesting thing is, at some point this year, the Jets are going to have to make a decision on Zach Wilson. Do we bring him back? Do we option him for his fourth, fifth year?
I don't think so.
Not a chance.
No way.
I think I would.
No way.
To develop under him for another year or two. I think that's great.
I got to see him play if I'm going to extend his contract at all.
Yes, but I mean, like, you can't find that level of talent.
How long is this Rodgers contract? 2 years, right?
2 years, yeah.
2 years?
Yeah, I think it's perfect. I think it's perfect for Zach Wilson.
But then you got to sign him again. You got to do the 5th year, and then...
Well, then you get that 5th year to decide if he can play or not.
It's a lot of money to decide.
But you're paying him like $19 million to find out if he's going to play.
It's not a cheap backup.
It's
Plus,
tough,
Rodgers is at 50, so now you're spending $70 million on quarterback.
I just look at the player profile, the things he can do with his arm talent, and I'm like, there's not a lot of guys like that, Like, you can say what you want about the way he played his first couple of years, but, like, you're not going to find that kind of arm talent and ability.
Yep, but you got to have it
outside the first round.
He went to the Jets, and they turned his brains into scrambled eggs.
Yeah,
that's forever.
More or less.
I gotta say though, I think this might be the best thing for him.
This is definitely the best thing for. This is his best chance.
Best
Yeah.
chance. Not even
Yeah.
close. Were you hearing this Trey Lance stuff out in San Francisco?
What about
He's
it?
the he's
It's
the
not good. It's not good for Trey Lance.
third string quarterback. He lost out second string quarterback, and now is rumored to be on the trade block.
Beat him out.
Yeah, beat out
You
by
could have
Sam.
him for a conditional 7th round pick if you want to trade for him.
Definitely. I would definitely take a flyer on him. He was a first rounder 2 years ago. The top number
Yeah.
3.
Would
Yeah.
you?
For a 7th round pick? Why not?
I wouldn't do that to Mac Jones. Take a guy that was drafted ahead of him in the same draft.
Dude, just
Bring him on the
prop him
team.
up and trade him for a 2nd rounder in a couple of years. Be like, oh, he's been under Bill Belichick. Pull the Bill Belichick. Look, he's been tutelaged under these guys for 2 years.
I would
Get
do it
his
if I was
Get his
if I was the
stock back
Broncos.
up.
If I was Sean Payton,
That's a good one.
You bring him in and you go, hey, I sprinkled the magic Sean Payton dust on him.
Well, and Russell Wilson's
Look, he
getting
looked
older.
good for 2 series. Yeah,
He you know that's actually a really good fit.
yeah.
That's what you're
Denver's going to be a train
Seattle,
wreck
well,
this
they
year.
wouldn't
Wilson looks terrible.
To make him look
Does
good
he?
and then flip him.
Oh yeah,
That's what
Wilson
you're looking
looks
for.
awful.
That's what I'm telling you. Yeah, flip him.
Make him look good,
Flipping
and
a
then
house.
flip
You
him
flip,
for-
flip the
Flip the
quarterback
asset.
and flip the asset.
Yeah.
Does Wilson look
Okay,
that
I think
bad?
Yeah, Russell Wilson looks terrible.
Really? Oh wow!
It's it might be a lost cause out there. That might go down as one of the worst trades ever.
What do you guys think about Garrett Wilson though?
No, the
I'm
worst trade ever is 3 first-round picks for Trey Lance. That might be the worst trade of all
That
time.
might be the worst trade ever. I mean,
bad.
that's
pretty bad.
the RG3 one. It is bad, but at least he had one really good year.
He did. He had a
The
good
RG3 one's just
solid
bad
year.
luck.
Yeah.
Because he was fucking
Nasty.
unbelievable
He was nasty
his rookie year.
1 year.
Yeah,
So-
but that that
do you
Trey
guys think
Lance
about,
one is up there.
Before we move on, what do you guys think about Garrett Wilson?
Garrett Wilson's great. I mean, he's a
think he's
terrific
pretty good.
player.
I think he's gonna be really good. I think he's gonna kill it with Rodgers, and it kills me.
Yeah, right.
It's a bummer.
I mean, I don't know where I would rank him. I would have to see the list of wide receivers, but he's probably in
top
that like
top 15.
7 to 15
7 to
range,
15, right.
somewhere
Yeah.
in there.
And I love his personality too. He just seems like a good kid that wants to get better.
He seems locked in. He seems
and then,
very
like,
focused.
Him and Sauce against each other in practice every day. I mean, like, that's pretty cool.
Is it
you
just
know?
me, or does Sauce look physically non-impressive?
No,
He
he's not
He's-
physically
he's
impressive. He
thin.
just knows what he's doing.
He's thin. He doesn't have a
he's-
lot of definition. I'm looking at him like
He's
I
like
don't.
lanky. He's a lanky.
I get
player.
that you're tall, but he just doesn't look like he doesn't
You
look
know-
like a pro athlete. He looks
know
like
what?
he
He's not your blue chip average prospect. He's just a guy that's smart and knows what he's doing, understands leverage, understands contact balance, has good leverage with his pads, knows how to read routes, studies film, that kind of
could
guy.
uses his length.
Yeah,
Sean,
and
it's
he's-
funny you
he's
say
long.
that
Yeah,
because
he is long.
I feel like Gonzalez is getting a lot of flack for his, not a lot of flack, but a little bit for his size in terms of like, bulkiness, and he's like the same built as who we're talking.
Well, maybe
about.
that's a good thing. Maybe that's a
It
good
is.
trait.
Yeah,
You don't have
mean,
to. I don't need my cornerbacks
I don't worry about
to look
Christian
like Josh
Gonzalez.
Bledsoe.
Christian Gonzalez, I'm not worried about one bit. He's going to get the best coaching at that position. We have so many coaches at that know how to coach up corner. For that level of athleticism, he's going to be totally fine. I'm not even worried about that.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. Okay, I think we covered it.
Number 22.
Patriots play. Yeah, Ride's got a Ty Law's Michigan jersey on. What a throwback! That's pretty impressive.
Let's fucking
Love to
go,
see
man.
that jersey closet you got there sometime.
Oh yeah, man. It's extensive.
I would imagine. So the Patriots playing the Titans, last game of the preseason tomorrow night, and then cut downs on Monday. So we will
lot
be
of things
back with you
happening.
next week to recap the cut downs that are going on next week. Get a better look at what this roster is going to look like going forward, who the surprise cuts are from our team and from around the league. And then we get to look forward to regular season time. So
Yeah.
it's all
Preview the
right around the
Eagles.
corner
I have
here.
one request from the Patriots coaching staff. Please do not cut Keyshawn Boutte. Like,
Yep.
Just
don't
please,
do it.
You know,
Don't do it.
Don't do that.
I second that.
Me too.
Here. All right. We'll talk to you guys later.
All right, guys. See ya.
Adios.